everybody, and welcome to another week of Family Chats, where sports brings the family together. Hey, everybody, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, welcome again. Thank you for tuning in and joining us, and the support and the love we've been getting. We're grateful for everyone tuning in, the questions, the interactiveness. So, thanks again. I'm the dad here, Freddie Rivera. Got my son here, Joe. Say what's up.
What's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook? What's up, SoundCloud? What's up, everybody, again? Excited to be here for another week.
And my boy Angel, nephew, he's been missing the last 2 weeks, doing a little spring training himself in St. Pete. He's back in the house. Angel, say what's up.
What's up, everybody? Excited to be back. It's been a long 2 weeks that I haven't been here, but I'm ready to start talking. Let's go.
Awesome. So as the NFL finished off with the Super Bowl last week, and we had some great conversations about that and how good and fun it was and what a great Super Bowl it was. We want to start off this week with a little bit of NBA, as the NBA is hot. Thanks everyone for joining there. As you're joining in now, Ryan Kellogg say he used to play ball with Angel. He says, "What's up?" We want this to be a very interactive program for those on Facebook. So if you have comments and subjects you want to talk about, be very interactive. We'll jump right into the Cleveland Cavaliers and the moves that they've been making to change what was a year that was going down very quick. So, what we've seen in the 2 games that the Cleveland Cavaliers made the trade have been unbelievable turnaround, and looks like the Cavs right now, based off the last 2 games against the Celtics and that Oklahoma, are again the team to beat in the East. So, guys, what are your thoughts on what's happened? I mean, a couple weeks ago we were talking about how bad it was, and LeBron and everybody needs to go. And Joe, you made comments about everybody needed to be traded, which was right on point. We didn't think it was going to happen, but it kind of did. Or the coach had to go, and the Cavs got to give credit to the GM and LeBron, or both. But great moves.
Just a completely different team. They look refueled, re-energized, and with 2 statement wins right before the All-Star break. They are going into the second half as my favorite right now in the East. It's not hard to say right now, especially with the Celtics losing, 9 out of their last 16 games, or it's pretty. The Celtics have been pretty bad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, the Cavs, they had no choice but to start making some moves, especially before the trade deadline was done. And they did it the last day of the trade deadline. So I think we kind of expected the Cavs to make a little bit of moves, but to almost trade their entire roster besides 5 players. I'm pretty sure it was LeBron, JR, Tristan they didn't trade, Kevin Love,
and they should have traded
Kyle,
more.
And Kyle Korver, I'm pretty sure, is the other player they didn't trade.
Kyle Korver's still on the team.
So those are the only 5 players that they didn't trade in the deadline, and they pretty much brought in a whole young talent with Clarkson and Nance from the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 2 great, underrated, pretty much trades. I feel like those are good young talent.
Absolutely.
And then Hood and Hill.
Hood and Hill are great players too. And the thing about those guys is that they know their role. They know the type of players that they are. So they're not going to try to be anything more than what they are. LeBron's just gonna say, be who you are. If you're good at defense, play defense and get some rebounds. We don't need you to do anything more than you don't need to start scoring 20 points a game like Isaiah Thomas wanted to do, even though Isaiah Thomas is a scorer. But we know that was LeBron's team, and Isaiah Thomas came from the Celtics, where he was running that offense and scoring 28 points a game. So we knew it wasn't going to work out like a Kyrie Irving. So the Cavs had no choice, and they've been the favorite since the start of the season. We could all agree with that. Even though the Celtics had Kyrie in the trade, I think everybody still had the Celtics as the favorite in the East. But as we saw, the connection between the players, it wasn't flowing right. So they had no choice but to.
You're absolutely right. There was just there was a lack of cohesiveness on the team. And for those that are joining us on Facebook, thank you for joining. Hit the share button there and let everyone know that we're here. Tune in, text us, let us know what you think. If you got any comments about the Cavs, Jason Hernandez says excitement will fade and the Cavs will come back to earth. So he does not think that this is going to last much. I think different. This is why I think it was a great move. There were several reasons why this looks like a fantastic move. One, the energy and the cohesiveness on the team was just not there. It was irrelevant. The atmosphere was bad. LeBron didn't, care less about the team and the players he had on there. No one really liked playing with each other, is what it looked like. When they brought in this young team, it made them faster, it made them longer, it made them more defensive, and they came in with the right mindset. The kids came in right away and said the right thing. LeBron is Batman, and we just need to be Robin and support him. And that mindset right away told LeBron that these young guys are coming in with the right mindset. They're not coming to take over. They're not coming to be the scorer. They want to come behind LeBron, let LeBron lead, and they want to flow behind LeBron to make LeBron better. And in the first 2 games that they've played, they went into Boston and absolutely put a whooping on them so bad. I think they lost by like 30 points, the Celtics, at Boston.
Yeah.
If that's not a statement, I don't know what is, because here's what you look at. They lost, they go to Boston and won by 30. Now you go back 2 weeks earlier, they lost to Oklahoma at home by almost 30. They lost to the Celtics, I believe, by like 20. They lost to teams, they were losing by 20 on a consistent basis at home. They go to Boston, beat them by almost 30, then go back to Oklahoma, a team they lost to by almost 30 at home, and beat them at Oklahoma. And they beat them, I'm not going to say they destroyed them, but they beat them, and they were impressive again. So back-to-back impressive performances. LeBron looks comfortable with the guys. It just looks like they've been flowing and playing for a long time, and they're only going to get better. And the more they play with each other, the better they're going to get. So, Jason, I know how you feel, this whole Cavs thing, but they're the team to beat in the East, I believe. We thought that before they started to go downhill, that they would get it together and still be the team to beat in the East, because the East is not that strong. But even now, more so with the players they have.
Now the bigger question is, who is the best in the West? I mean, the Rockets finish out on top
Yeah,
of the
good question.
West for the first time in probably 3 years.
Yeah.
That the Warriors haven't been first place. I want to say.
Hey,
What do you think, Gaines?
I'm impressed with the Rockets, man. They're the real deal. I mean, this is the first time, I think, over a year that the Warriors haven't been in first in the Western Conference. So the Rockets are showing something in them that they're saying, hey, let's stop talking about the Warriors.
Yeah.
All right, we're just as good, if not better, than the Warriors. And even Clint Capella said it one time in an interview. He says that they're better than the Warriors.
And they beat them 2 out of 3 in the
Yeah.
first half, right?
Yeah.
They beat the Warriors 2 out of 3 head to head. So they feel confident. They feel like they can beat them, and they've proven it. So, yeah, I agree with that. I think Houston ends the first half on a big-time high. I believe Houston has the team that can make the most. They can make the Golden State Warriors sweat a little bit more than any other team. Oklahoma can play with them a little bit. I don't think they have enough. I just think Houston has not only the stars to play very well, but they have a good bench, a very underrated bench that can come in and still play very well. So yeah, I think Houston's going to give Golden State all they can, get in the playoffs there in the West. I do think Golden State still at the end of the day will step up and win, because they've been there and done that, and those stars will step up. But I like what I see out of Houston.
Yeah, no, the Warriors to me are still the best team in the West. Even though I'm really high on the Rockets right now, the Rockets in their last 10 games are 10-0. So
Yeah.
let's not sleep on them. And the Warriors, they've been losing a lot of games lately.
They're not like
they're not the Warriors
They're not
that we're
the
used
Warriors.
to seeing.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. They've been a little off, and James from New Jersey says Houston, okay, but if they play OKC, he says the Warriors in the playoffs, that will be a tough out. So yeah,
that'd be a great series.
it'll be a great series for sure.
I mean, I hope personally that OKC doesn't have to play Houston or the Warriors in the first round.
Yeah, that's true.
a team I want to see farther into the playoffs.
That's true. And Michael says that let's see, can they beat them? Right. So he thinks, can Houston beat Golden State come
Oh
playoff
yeah,
time?
for sure.
Yeah,
I think they'll make it. My opinion, I think they'll make it competitive. But I think Golden State, with their experience as a team, will step up. It'll be hard for Houston to beat them in the playoffs, but they can compete.
The biggest thing is James Harden. The last couple of years, obviously, we see that he doesn't play the same in the playoffs. He doesn't have that same
Yeah,
MVP
and that's the monkey he has
mentality.
to take off.
And that's the
yeah.
biggest thing that he has to deal with coming into this postseason. Coming with
Yeah.
Chris Paul, who hasn't won anything in the playoffs as well.
It's true.
Because
Both of them have
both of
something
them
to prove.
haven't got out of that Western Conference.
Yeah.
Both big time players have things to prove going into the playoffs. Hiram says, "How about Toronto?"
No.
Brother,
Toronto. Here's what I
mean,
think about Toronto. So it's a good point you put out there. We say the Celtics. No, I think Toronto is the team that's going to give the Cavs the hardest battles, not the Celtics. I think. Sorry about that. But I think it's going to be the Toronto Raptors who will give the Cavs all they can handle. It's not going to be Boston. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. But hey, Kenny, what's happening? So Ramon says Jason Hernandez. I agreed with that, but they would really be a good West Coast team.
Here's what I think about that with the
Toronto.
Rocket. No, I'm gonna go back to the Rockets. Rockets Warriors type of thing. I feel if the Rockets stay number 1 in the West the rest of the season, they're gonna get those first 2 games at home, and then the next 3 will be on the road in Golden State. Let's say they play each other in the conference finals, and then it's Houston, Golden State, and then back to Houston. So if it does go to a Game 7, which is possible that they could go back to a Game 7, as long as that Game 7 is not in Golden State, I will give the Houston Rockets the edge of going to the NBA Finals over the Warriors, because if it is the opposite way around and that Game 7 is in Golden State, which is a hard place to play with the fan base and everything like
if
that.
we're talking about a 7-game series with the Rockets and Golden State, I think the Rockets would have to win one of those 3 games at Golden State for them to win the series.
I think they would at least take one of those games.
Because
they would have to.
Yeah.
I think, or else they're not going to win the series.
Yeah, because I believe the Golden
They would
State's
have to
going to win one in Houston no matter what. So they're going to have to win one or two.
One or two in.
I don't think that Houston's going to beat Golden State every game in Houston.
And back with Toronto, the only reason I'm not hyped with Toronto is because they haven't proven to beat LeBron not once in the playoffs ever since he's been in Miami or even Cleveland. So, and who else do they really have besides Lowry and DeRozan that could really score and contribute to that team?
They have probably one of the most solid teams in the East.
Just
well-rounded. They don't have a bunch of superstars. They don't have a bunch of.
They do work well together, and that's a big thing. But once you get guys who are talented and who have experience and who know how to win in the playoffs, because DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry haven't proven that they could take their team to a championship.
The thing is with this year with the Raptors is they just seem DeMar DeRozan has seemed to step his play up this year. He's a better overall player. He's shooting the 3 better percentage than any years he's played. I feel like he's becoming a superstar that Toronto is playing well around. And I feel like you don't become a number 1 team in a conference for no reason, especially a team that a conference that has LeBron James in it and Kyrie.
So here's Mike says, here's a big question, Joe. Brung up Harden MVP. Does he still win MVP if the Rockets don't beat the Warriors or if they don't win the Western Conference Finals? That's a good question, but I don't think that.
Well, it's not a
postseason award. So
I don't think he's gonna win anyway. I think LeBron's gonna win it.
It'll be a regular season award. So however the regular season ends up, the playoffs won't matter if he wins the MVP or not. And so I think Harden has a great chance to win it. Joe thinks that LeBron will win it. I don't think LeBron will win it. I don't think LeBron deserves it, if you ask me, because LeBron, obviously, with the team that he had before the trade, didn't prove that he was the MVP or that team would have been playing well. You don't lose by 20 and 30 points and blame the rest of the team. That just doesn't fly if you're the best player in this planet.
I mean, Harden's had bad games. It's like every player has bad games, but
yeah, bad games. But they went the Cavs went through a streak where we really thought they were about done, and if they didn't make the changes they made, they were done. So it showed that there's a lot more to do with the players around LeBron than it was just LeBron. So LeBron is the key, but as you can see, he couldn't carry that other team that he had, by himself. So I think
blame him. The team was terrible.
No, I don't blame him. He has something to right. He played
amazing throughout the season.
But he takes some of the blame. He's a leader. He's the leader of that team. and he almost gave up on that team. Literally, he gave up on that team. If they didn't make any of these trades this season, we would be talking about LeBron and when are they gonna, right? Where's LeBron going next year? That was the conversation we were going. Where's LeBron playing next year? That was already happening. Is he going to the Lakers? Is he going to Golden State? So now we're not talking about that because I believe they've made good enough trades where LeBron's not going to want to go anywhere.
Oh, I think he's leaving.
You still think he's leaving?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. So with that said, what else? Anything else around the NBA they want to talk about? Anybody want to talk about the dunk contest? I thought the dunk contest was flat yesterday. Too many.
Just weak.
Too many missed dunks. Wasn't as exciting because of the missed dunks. You know, it kind of takes away some of the flair and what's happening.
I got a question.
You got a
Who
question?
wins? Who wins tonight? Who we got? Team LeBron or Team Curry?
Team
Team
LeBron.
LeBron. After Team LeBron has taken several hits.
Yeah, for me, I'm going with Team LeBron still. Yeah, I know they had some guys that are going down and out for the season. DeMarcus Cousins out for the season. Porzingis out for the season with ACL. Kevin Love with his hand out 6 to 8 weeks. John Wall out 6 to 8 weeks. Those are big guys that, for me, that they could have helped Team LeBron out big time, but it's the All-Star game. Nobody takes this game serious. It's a three-point competition with a style of the dunk contest and skill challenge. They're going to be passing behind their back. They're going to be doing no-look passes over their head. It doesn't matter who wins, but I think obviously LeBron's team has a couple better players. They got Westbrook, who was the MVP last year,
KD.
Mr. Triple Double. KD's MVP, LeBron's MVP. They have, I think those three guys right there are just going to take them over the edge. They still got Kyrie Irving. Don't forget about Kyrie.
Jeez.
So
Yeah, that's pretty solid team. Yeah, I could see them winning. And who said? Let's talk about Paul George in the 3-point contest. Ramon, no, he didn't even deserve to be in the 3-point contest. he is one of the leaders in 3-pointers this year, and that's why he was on it. But yeah, that was terrible.
Garbage.
You know, he's not what you call a typical 3-point shooter. You know, pop and shoot. But he is one of the top 3-point shooters this year, and that's why he was in it. But it was just funny to see. You know, he just struggled. The game tonight, anybody, I can care less about the NBA All-Star team and All-Star games. It's fun, and everybody's just scoring and throwing things up, and becomes almost like the NFL, Pro Bowl, where it's more offense and no one's playing any defense.
yeah, unless it was like MLB and it actually kind of mattered who won. Home
And
field
MLB is a
advantage
little
and-
different because you're pitching. The pitchers are trying to
Yeah,
shut
the
the
pitchers are
hitters
pitching.
out.
They're
So
throwing
playing
95,
defense.
96.
Yeah.
Everybody who's on the All-Star team is throwing
Oh
high
yeah,
90s.
it's different.
So it's a lot different.
But again, we appreciate you guys being interactive. Please share the video. Hit the share button there on your screen. Anybody else with any
You
questions?
guys think it's time for a call or two?
Let's see. Anybody want to call in?
Let's get our first caller. I like that.
Do we have our first caller? We're gonna check to see if we got our first caller.
Go ahead and say the number out. The number,
number?
the number
Go
to
ahead.
call, 863-838-8621. If you want to chat with the family.
Ask a question.
Yeah, make sure you have a question. Good question. We have people standing by to take your call, so make sure you have a good question to answer. All right.
Oh, we got one.
There we go.
Call. Here we go.
Our first caller ever on Family Chats.
Hello. Who's this?
This is Jason Hernandez from Orlando.
Jason Hernandez from Orlando, Florida.
Hey.
What's happening, Jason? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So I do have a fun topic for you guys. The Hall of Fame for NBA is about to be announced in March. So there's Ray Allen, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash. So my question is, if you had to pick one, who's going in, who's the two you leave out?
Oh,
I'll start with that.
that's a
first.
great question for sure. Great question.
Thank you for the question, Jason. I'm going to hang up now. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Thanks for joining.
Okay.
All All right, so his question was NBA Hall of Fame is coming up, and the three guys that he had said was Ray Allen, Jason Kidd, and Steve Nash.
Woo!
Whew.
So if you have to pick one
Let me just say
and
this.
leave two out, who would it be? That's the question.
Let me just start off with this. They're all Hall of Famers.
They're all gonna be Hall of
They're all
Famers.
going to be in the Hall of Fame.
That's hard.
All right,
That's
if
like
I had to
that's,
pick
that's
one.
like a favorite player type because
Yeah.
they're all
Yeah.
so good.
All right. If I had to pick one to be in the Hall of Fame, it would be Steve Nash
Ooh.
right now. And the reason I'm saying that is because, first off, he's a two-time MVP. He's probably one of the best point guards we've probably ever seen in the league.
Yeah, definitely was an all-around player.
Was an all-around player. He helped his team to the playoffs. Remind me if he's ever won a championship or not.
I think he came up short. If you ask me, I'm trying to remember if he
He went.
won with
I'm
the
pretty
Suns.
sure he went twice.
Yeah, I think he went to the finals. I don't think he won one. Let's see. James Peace from New Jersey says Jason Kidd in, Ray and Nash out.
No championships.
Let's see. Ramon says Ray Allen in. Hiram says Nash all the way. Let's see.
Listen, if
James
it's me-
Peace says all elite championship teams elevate. All right, so let's see.
so if it's me and I have to pick one out of the three,
Flavio says John Stockton, but he was not part of the question. Flavio from Lakeland,
Yeah.
Florida.
I'm going with Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd, he was just,
Yeah.
I don't know, growing up, he was my favorite player. He played for New Jersey, obviously. Got them to a couple championships, came up short, but I felt like he, triple-double machine, one of the most elite passers ever. And I think, and Ray Allen was had a better team. Ray Allen was more of a role player out of the three guys we're talking about.
Yeah.
He also does have the most three-pointers made in history, and that will be broken soon because Steph Curry's going to beat
Steph Curry's
that
gonna beat that.
in probably the next couple of years. So that's going to be a broken
Yeah,
record.
my vote would also probably go to Jason Kidd because I just love the general that he was on the floor. And every team Jason Kidd went to, he made that team better. Went to New Jersey, made that team better. Went to Dallas, got them to
He got a
got the
championship,
championship
actually.
with Dallas, I believe.
Yeah.
Am I right
Yeah,
saying
he
that?
got a championship
So-
against LeBron.
Yeah. So that year against LeBron, the one team LeBron went to with the Heat, right? They upset LeBron. LeBron and the Heat, I think, was favored in that team. So Kidd went to Dallas and made that team better and got them to the championship. And he got New Jersey to 2 championship finals and just couldn't get them over the hump in New Jersey with the Kenyon Martins. And if you look at the team Jason Kidd had in New Jersey, bringing them to the finals twice, it wasn't a great team. He just made the team better. Jason Kidd was my type of player. When I play ball, I would love to think the same as Kidd. Pass first, getting the ball to the right hands, making everyone better. So Kidd would be my first pick in. Nash maybe 2, and then the third one,
As a
Ray
coach,
Ray Allen.
no, not really.
All right, here let's compare a little bit with Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, are both point guards, both great assist point guards. I know Jason Kidd is one of the top. He has one of the top assists in NBA history.
Yeah.
So let's compare the two. We'll start off with Jason Kidd. You both picked Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
Correct.
Jason Kidd in his career was a 10-time All-Star, Hall of Fame worthy,
Pretty good.
Yeah.
5-time assist champion, Hall of Fame worthy, and he was also an NBA champion with the Dallas Mavericks in 2010, 2011. In his career, he averaged 12.6 points a game, and he averaged 8.7 assists in his career. And he played with 4 different teams. So let's go on to Steve Nash. Steve Nash was a 8-time All-Star,
Okay.
Jason
2
Kidd
less than
was
Kidd. Yeah.
10. He was also 5-time assist champion.
That's
They're
a few
both-
less.
They're both tied.
It's tied. Okay.
Yeah, Jason Kidd had 5, Steve Nash had 5. He was a 7-time All-NBA, first team,
That's pretty impressive.
and he was also a 2-time MVP, which
That's
Jason
super
Kidd
impressive.
doesn't have
Yeah.
either.
That's super impressive.
Didn't win a championship because he was pretty much with the Suns his whole
His whole
career, and they stink. So, and then he played with Dallas for 6 seasons, and then he played with the Lakers his last 2 seasons,
Yeah.
which he never won a
I
championship.
mean, if you compare the end of their careers, Kidd had a much better. I mean, Nash was consistently hurt. He signed to the Lakers. He never played with the Lakers. He barely played, probably played 30 games or less with the Lakers. So you saw that kid probably ended his career more naturally instead of being injury ridden.
Prone. Yeah, so with that said, we got Angel says Nash, right? You think Nash?
Yeah, I picked Steve Nash. If I had to choose
Pick
one,
Steve
they're all Hall
Nash.
of Famers.
To pick one, they're all gonna be Hall of Famers. But he thinks Nash. It's a good argument. 2 MVPs, right? 8 All-Stars, assist champion, 5 times top assist guy, and was a great scorer, a great shooter, especially towards the end of his career. Joe and I have Jason Kidd, but either way, can't argue it either way. They're
I'm a
both
Jersey
pretty
boy.
similar. Kidd was just a general on the floor, just like another coach with the ball. Just loved the way he played and got everybody involved. So, with that said, good question, Jason. We're gonna move on to another topic.
Yeah, I mean, MLB.
MLB is starting to get hot.
Last weekend.
So we're about to go baseball for all y'all baseball fans. What questions do you have? We have some big signings happening this week. The Mets making another splash, going out and getting Jason Vargas. The big thing I love about Jason Vargas signing is that he's not being called on to be a number 1 or number 2 on the team. And last year for the Royals, he basically became their number 1 or 2. He was one of the top pitchers, especially in the first half. You had the big signing last night with Hosmer finally signing a long-term contract with the Padres. Surprisingly and not surprising, because the Padres were one of the teams that made a good offer. A couple other teams, a couple other moves. You know, the Minnesota Twins getting a pitcher from the Rays yesterday, strengthening their Odorizzi strengthening their pitching staff, especially with Irving Santana being out for a few weeks to start the year. That's going to help that young team. Odorizzi is a great signing because he's still young and can grow with that team. And more moves to come, because there's still obviously a lot of free agents still out there, like Arrieta. Who else is out there? Arrieta's out there. The Cobb is out there. Lynn is out there. Still a lot of ball players to be signed. And,
Moustakas.
you know, Moustakas is still out there, obviously top third baseman. So we still got a lot of free agents to go. Say what's up, Chris. You see Chris as the other nephew in the background there. But anything about baseball, anything you guys like and want to talk about? And question, here's Aaron David from Brandon, Florida, close to Tampa. What's your question? I know you all are New York fans, but what do you guys think about the Rays Stadium heading over to Ybor City? That's a good question. It's something me and Joe was actually talking about when it happened. So,
Love it.
yeah, we love it. Matter of fact, I talked to Joe about it. Joe didn't know that there were conversations about that site in Ybor City. I talked to him about it last week before they started to come and talk about it in the news a lot more. And I love it. I think the Rays moving their stadium from St. Pete to Ybor City is going to do a lot of good. For those of you that are here in Florida, understand the Rays Stadium going to St. Pete is just in a bad area, because it's outside of Tampa going east towards the water. And it makes it further away from Orlando to get there. One, Orlando obviously being another major city here. Obviously it makes it harder for fans that are South Florida, North Florida, to get through Tampa. So moving that stadium to Ybor City not only gives you more fans coming from Orlando to be closer, probably a half hour closer at least. So if you're in the Disney area where Jason Hernandez is, now instead of it being an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, he's got maybe an hour drive and maybe a little closer from time. So you got people from Orlando that are going to be able to get to that stadium, and it might make a lot more sense for them to go. But you also are closer to Highway 75, so you have a lot of people coming from South Florida and North Florida. That it's going to make it easier for them to come up I-75 and just get off exit 4 and be right there. So I love the move. I think it's closer to Tampa. You got a lot more people in Tampa that's going to be going there. You got people in Lakeland. Lakeland being another minor city in between Tampa and Orlando. It's going to be much closer. I love the move, and I'm excited for the Rays to get there and do their thing. So Love it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it's just closer. I feel like St. Petersburg is such a drive, and it's just such a drag to get there. And you just saw with the numbers, and not many fans were showing up and trying to get there. So I love it. I think it's going to be closer. I think we're going to go to more ball games this year or whenever they move, whenever
Yeah.
the stadium's built. And I just think it's going to be better for the fans of Tampa because you see the Lightning games, they're always packed with the hockey because it's in the actual city. So I feel like this move can actually help the Rays with their attendance.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, like what Joe said with the attendance. The Rays have had the worst attendance rating out of any major league team probably the last couple of years. They've been the lowest.
Pretty bad.
They're only averaging maybe 10,000 to 15,000, maybe even 20,000 the most if on a lucky day. So, especially when you have a stadium that fits 40,000, 45,000 seats and you only average 15,000 people a game, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So, and also you can't be called the Tampa Bay Rays and you're not even in Tampa. You can't be in St. Petersburg and be called the Tampa Bay Rays. So, yeah, I like the move. Like they said, it's going to be in downtown Tampa around there. Now people from Orlando can come. It'll be a shorter drive, even though it's still an hour, but it's still a shorter drive. Lakeland and a bunch of other little cities that are around the Orlando, Tampa area can come on down, and I think it's just going to bring more people. So I do like the move with the Rays moving to Ybor City.
All right, got another question from Stephen Morris, and I believe you're in New Jersey still, right, Stephen? But he says, glad the Mets got Vargas, but realistically, what are the chances the Mets go through a full season with Syndergaard, DeGrom, and Harvey, and other pitchers? And if so, do you see them contending? Angel, I'll let you take this one first.
All right, I'll take this one because the Mets are my team.
Yep.
So
Garbage team.
I'll tell you what. If the Mets, the problem with the Mets is to obviously stay healthy, and that is probably the worst thing about being a Mets fan.
It goes for
Is
every
that-
team, right?
It goes for every team, I guess. Every team that you know has talent and can compete with all these other teams, especially that now the Nationals are just so good every year now. So, but I'm not worried about DeGrom really because he's obviously been healthy the last couple of years. He's been an all-star pitcher. He's one of the top pitchers in the league if you think about it. Syndergaard, I know he got hurt last year, but if that guy stays healthy the whole year, he is easily a Cy Young Award pitcher.
Yeah.
Same with Harvey. I know Harvey.
What?
I get
He
Harvey.
does not just say
I
that.
give Harvey such a hard time because obviously he's had so many injuries. Had Tommy John twice or whatever it is. He was out all last year, but he had that season where he came back. Obviously he got hurt because of this Tommy John, and he came back the next year and was the National League Comeback Player of the Year. So let's not the Mets and Harvey. I get so frustrated with Harvey because we know he could be good.
Yeah, we know
he could. We know he could be so good. And he at one point he was the ace for the Mets.
He was the ace.
So now that we say, all right, he used to be the ace for the Mets, throwing 96, 97, 98 with a pretty nasty slider when he's healthy and he's on point. Now he's their number 3, number 4 maybe, and so now the whole question is, are they going to compete if they stay healthy? And the answer is yes.
Yeah,
They're
so
gonna
you believe
compete.
they're going to compete. Joe, what's your thought on it?
My thought on the Mets
Competing with Vargas and staying healthy.
against the Nationals.
Just competing. They can be they can be a wild card candidate. You think they'll at least have a shot at the wild card with the moves they make?
I don't think the NL East is that great, so I think they'll definitely have a chance at the wild card because they'll definitely hang around the 2 and 3 seed in the NL East.
Right.
But as far as competing, I don't know because there's other teams and there's other. You obviously see the West and how stacked it is with those 4 or 5 teams who could probably go for a wild card, and then you got to throw in the Mets, and I'm a little iffy. I like the Mets. The Mets, I feel like they have to do it. They have to beat the Nationals. They have to win
They have to win the division.
They have to win the division because that wild card is hard to lock up. We saw it last year with Arizona and Colorado, and
They all won over 90 games, right?
yes, it's crazy. So you have obviously the Dodgers, you have Arizona, you have Colorado, you have Milwaukee, you have the Cubs, you have
And the Giants now.
the Giants who are trying to compete. There's so many teams who are trying to compete. It's different with the NBA and how you obviously see teams who go for it and you see teams who don't go for it.
Yeah.
MLB, there's a lot of optimism. You sign a couple guys and you're full speed ahead. So I think it's hard to say that the Mets are ready to compete because I just don't feel like their offense is there. I like Cespedes. If Cespedes stays healthy, if DeGrom stays healthy, if Syndergaard stays healthy, I think they can win 80 plus.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I think that I love the Vargas move. I think when you have two hard throwers like, Syndergaard and DeGrom, and then you throw in a Vargas who's got a great changeup, I think that obviously he's a great addition, and it just changes things up as a lefty as well. But I just think it helps to bring more hope to the team. You have, like Joe said, and Angel too, if Cespedes stays healthy, if Syndergaard stays healthy, I think those are the main two, along with DeGrom. Those three guys, if they stay healthy, I think the rest of the team will play well around them. Adding Bruce, adding Frazier, and now adding Vargas, I think you just added three solid Major League ball players that not only come to play every day and is going to, make an impact in the clubhouse, they're going to make an impact on the field, and I think it makes a huge difference. So I believe they'll compete. I do. I think they'll have a shot at the wild card. The Nats is going to be tough. The Nats are always tough because they have more pitching. They stay healthy. It goes along with them. If they lose one of their top pitchers, they're going to be hurting.
I'll say this real quick. For me, I think the Mets are going to be in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win the division. Obviously, the Nationals are too good. Especially they got a healthy Bryce Harper back now. He wasn't in the lineup every day last year because of the injury he had. But with the Mets, I will say their lineup has gotten way better than it has been. If you look at their lineup, you see that, all right, they have Adrian Gonzalez, who we know is a good hitter. Obviously, he was on the Dodgers, so that kind of hurt him a little bit because we know how good the Dodgers are and how good their offense is. So with that, I think he knew he wasn't going to be playing with the Dodgers for a long time anymore because of Cody Bellinger coming up and hitting 39 home runs. So that kind of hurt him. So with the Mets getting him at a minimum salary that they do when they come up to the big leagues at $500,000, $600,000, that was a steal.
That's a steal.
That was a steal for the Mets.
True.
And also getting Todd Frazier, who's obviously, I know his average always stinks every year, but we know he could hit home runs and he could easily hit 30, even maybe 40 home runs in a season. So that's also big for the Mets. And the one thing with the Mets I will say also is they have a decent bullpen. And I know the starting pitching is what's key for the Mets to make it to the playoffs. Obviously we know that. But they have Familia in the bullpen. They have A.J. Ramos, who they got from Miami last year, who's a good closing pitcher. They have they're probably going to put one of those starting pitchers in the bullpen, Zach Wheeler or Gisselman, whoever it is. So that's a starting pitcher in the bullpen.
John says it's brutal to talk about baseball. I get it if you're not into baseball. It's hard when the NFL is done. This is probably one of the toughest weeks in sports to have great conversations about sports, right? With the NFL gone, baseball's still not ready.
NBA
right?
All-Star break.
NBA All-Star break. So you got NBA. You can talk NBA at the half. You can talk hockey, but you got a lot. College hoops about around the corner for the March Madness, but baseball, we love baseball, so it's easy for us to talk about it. You can tell the way we talk about it that we love baseball. We talk about it all day. We have our own family, fantasy league with myself, these two guys, my brother-in-law, just a family affair every year. Carl and a bunch of friends. So we have a blast with baseball. We love it. We can't wait for it to start, and we can talk about it all day. So, but John, tell us, who's your team won, and what do you think about the season? Give us your feedback on who's your team and what do you think? Are you excited a little bit about baseball starting, and what do you do in the summer when football is over? Do you just go to basketball, or do you wait for the NFL to come back around? Because I know there are some football fans that's all they like is NFL, and they just can't wait for it to start again. Yeah, it must be a terrible feeling to have just football. Growing up, I didn't know anything but you just played what the season was. If it was football season, you played football. If it was basketball, you played basketball. When baseball came, you played baseball. So, we were used to New Jersey just playing whatever sport was hot and just going along with it. So it was a lot of fun. So
Let me say this about the Mets signing. What's the pitcher's name?
Jason Vargas.
Vargas. He is going to be trash this year.
Oh
I'm predicting
God.
it right now.
Stop it.
Vargas will lose 15 games.
No
He's
way.
going to be
No
5
way.
and 15 this
You're
year.
crazy.
I guarantee you right
You
now. He's
are
going to get
crazy.
rocked.
So John says he's a Yankee fan, but interest in baseball is waning. Always reads the box scores though. I get that. Like I said, if you're just an avid baseball fan here and there, it's kind of tough to get into it. We love it. We played it. Still love it. Angel obviously still pursuing his dream to be a major leaguer. So easy for us to talk about it. There's a lot about baseball to talk about for us. We love baseball. Baseball's coming around. Spring training is happening, and we love going to spring training games here. Makes it again a lot more exciting for all of us to talk baseball.
Shout out to the Daytona 500.
Daytona 500 fans, shout out! You're making it a little bit more traffic around here in Central Florida because of you guys being here. So, but going on to another topic to talk about in baseball. Let's with spring training starting Friday, I believe, right? Let's talk Yankees since we have Yankee fans here. The positions that are available, second base and third base going into spring training. What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think that the Yankees are going to give the reins over to the kids, or will they make a late, spring training splash and maybe sign one of the, third basemen that are out there, Moustakas maybe? I think it's harder for Moustakas because there's, they'd have to give up trade, draft picks, and I think the Yankees are trying to stay away from that. But what do you guys think?
Listen, when you're competing like the Yankees are hoping to compete, I think it's losing a draft pick really isn't that big of a deal, especially when it might be close to a second round pick. So I'm saying, if you're the Yankees, I'm saying you got to do whatever it takes, especially when you go and sign a Giancarlo Stanton. I know you don't obviously want to spend a lot of money on Moustakas, but I feel like it's necessary to get another piece. I like Moustakas. I like the lefty bat. I think he can hit some bombs at Yankee Stadium. I think the Yankees should go out and go get him. I mean, I think they should try and get him, even if it's just a 1 year, 2 year deal. I think they need to try and get something done with him because obviously it seems like no one else is biting. So,
Angel, what do you think?
No, I think the Yankees should give those two guys, their rookies,
Gleyber Torres and Miguel Andujar.
Yeah, I think they should give those two guys a chance to make it to the major leagues. Obviously, Torres is the number 2 best prospect in all of baseball. He was number 1 until Ohtani came into the picture with the Angels. So I think they should give him a chance. Why not give him a chance? They already have the lineup. They already have the guys in that team to produce and win the East, maybe even win a World Series. So why would they need more power hitters in that lineup to produce? They already have Gardner leading off. They have Judge, who's probably going to hit 2. Stanton's going to hit 3. They have Greg Bird, who could drop bombs.
Sanchez.
They have Sanchez. They have
Gregorius,
who just set the Yankees record in a single season for home runs.
Aaron Hicks.
because why not? Because why not? That's why.
Well, what's the purpose for it? Like, there's no purpose. Like, you already have 7 guys in the lineup who can already hit. If anything, try to get somebody like a Lance Lynn, another pitcher or something like that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Angel. I love the young kids the Yankees have coming up. The little I've seen of Andujar and Torres, I'm just excited. I think as a Yankee fan, I sometimes it gets boring to just go out and sign whoever you can sign. They can sign whoever they want. I think it's more exciting when they have homegrown kids that are coming up and playing these positions. Kind of like the 90s Yankees when Jeter and Posada and those guys. I want to see these kids come up and get a shot and become part of this team. Kind of like Judge and Sanchez and Bird. They're homegrown, and I'm excited for them because you can't say the Yankees went out and signed them and are buying, the league again. So I love those types of players. So I say give these 2 young kids a chance, put them in the positions, let them learn as they go. There's going to be pressure because it's New York, but it's not as much pressure as normal when you have a Stanton and you have a Judge and you have these big guys in the front of the lineup.
The pressure's on
The
them.
pressure's on them, right? Leaves Torres and Andujar kind of at the end of the lineup to just develop and be relaxed and just be a part of the team, and I think they'll play well. So, as a Yankee fan, I'm excited to see them, and I hope they win the job. And the Yankees have a couple of veterans they signed to just in case, so they don't even have to go and sign anyone. They can, use some of these guys they signed just in case, some professionals that have been in the big leagues. So I'm excited, ready for the Yankees to start spring training. And the key for the Yankees, obviously, for me, whether they're going to make a big push or not, will be on the starting pitching, because I believe the hitting is there, the defense is there, the bullpen is there. It's basically, does the pitching step up and continue? Does Severino have another great year or not, and so on.
Now he asked about maybe Nolan Arenado after
Steven?
this year. I think
He's going to be looking for money.
they're not going for Arenado. The Yankees are going to be all full speed ahead on Machado this offseason.
Yeah, they talked about that. Machado is a free agent. I don't even know if Arenado's a free agent after the year, is he?
I don't think so.
I don't think he is.
I don't
Machado is,
I think he signed a long-term
and
deal.
the other one is from Toronto, right? So
Donaldson.
Donaldson. So you got two third
He's
basemen.
older.
You have two big time third basemen who are free agents after the year. So that's why you let Andujar play. Let Andujar play, and if
Hopefully
you
he
don't
makes
think
us
he's
not
your
sign
future,
someone.
right? If you don't think he's the future, you sign someone. But he can become someone where you say, well, he's our future. No need to go sign these players. So, yeah, Jose Pacheco from New Jersey asked the same thing, third base for the Yankees. We like Miguel Andujar, me and Angel, give the kids a shot to take that third base position.
I like Miguel Andujar, but I just feel like Mike Moustakas gives
Giovanni
us a
thinks
full
we should
speed
go
ahead.
sign Moustakas.
One
So,
year.
there you go.
1 year contract.
1 year contract. So,
Nothing more.
with that said, anything else to talk about right now? I know it's not much to talk about with baseball. We'll probably have a little bit more to discuss next week as spring training starts and maybe a few more people get signed, and we'll go from there.
No, I think it was a nice short episode this week. I think we don't have to go an hour and a half every week. It's
No.
not necessary.
Right. If there's things to talk about, we'll talk about it and talk about it as much as possible.
Obviously, college hoops is getting really
March
close.
Madness is
We're going to be
coming.
talking about that because there was a lot of great games today, but obviously we can't just prepare a show off of one day.
Yeah.
And maybe
We'll talk about the second half of the NBA. The start of the second half. Where does it go and go from there? We'll talk with Major League Baseball and the hot stove and spring training, and we'll maybe go into top 100 players, which was just announced recently. What do you guys think about the top players in the league, according to MLB? Right, Trout and Harper and Altuve. We'll have that discussion. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But with that said, if you guys have any topics you guys want us to start
any
thinking
last
about
questions?
for next week, bring it up. Tell us any topics, any last minute questions that anyone may have. Let us know. We'll answer them now. We'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Put it on the screen.
One quick plug, follow us on Instagram. We have a lot of good content. We have a lot of great content on our Instagram at Family Chats. We have a Twitter at chats_family. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us at Family Chats, and also follow us and like us on SoundCloud at Family Chats. Quick
Yeah.
plug.
So as much support as you can give us, as we say every week, we have a great time with this, no matter who's following or not. We just love the interaction and the time that we're spending together talking sports. It's the title, right, of our show, Family Chats, and to bring, where sports brings the family together. That's what it's all about for us. Gives us a little time to spend together and have a good time talking about what we love. John talks about all-time lists by position. It's
That's
something we can talk about.
That's an episode.
Yeah, that's an episode probably by
Yeah.
itself. I like it.
Mike Trout's on my list.
Maybe we'll go position by position, maybe over the next few weeks, or maybe take two positions like we did before, and we'll go from there. So we're about to end the show. Carl, thanks for tuning in. John, the rest of the crew, thank you. Share this video. Keep sharing it. Last week, I believe the Facebook views were over 1,100, I believe. So we were pretty impressed, and that's a lot to you guys. So we thank you for supporting us, for sharing us, and just talking about it, just jumping on, right? Just jumping on and sharing us on Facebook.
Big shout out to you guys.
So big shout out to you guys, because you know, we're having fun with it, so we can talk about this by ourselves. But obviously, you guys enjoy it, and we love interacting with you guys. So, God bless you guys as well. And baseball's around the corner. This is the last weekend that we have without baseball. So baseball
Yeah.
starts Friday, and from there on, we'll have baseball until the fall. So we're looking forward to it. With that said, we're going to be out here. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks
that's
for tuning in. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. If you finish the video, subscribe to us, like the video. SoundCloud. If you finish the episode, follow us and like it. Thank you.
Peace out, everybody. Have a fantastic week, man. We'll
Share
see you
it.
guys soon. Bless you
Share it,
guys.
share it, share it, share it.
Share.
YouTube, follow us on Instagram @Family Chats. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it as always.